Fleabag, Flawed and Fearless. I have always thought that Amazon Video had the best original content. I had no clue exactly how right I was until I finally sat down to watch this absolute perfection of a show. Fleabag was short, smart, and subversive. While we have seen plenty of female led shows in the last 20 years or so, for the most part, these stories are of the strong, put together women. Buffy, Scandal, Gilmore Girls, all of which are among my favorites. Fleabag, the show, was the exact opposite. Fleabag, the character, was anything but put together. To me, that makes her more real and relatable. And no, we never do learn her name. She is just Fleabag. We meet her with very little context, and it takes the entire first season to really see a glimpse of her state of mind. With her family around but at arm's length and knowing her best friend had died, we see how hard it is for her to stay afloat both financially and mentally. Without anything grounding her, she is easily swayed and steered both by other people and her own feelings. This leads to situations and decisions that are less than ideal, to say the least. Her flaws become apparent to both the other characters and the audience many times over, and at times it becomes difficult to sympathize with her. In fact, none of the characters are clear cut perfect, just like no human is clear cut perfect. This show could be the closest I've seen to real portrayal of everyday life. It does not shy away from the uncomfortable parts of the story and of its characters. Arguably, the second season was superior. And while we won't get into actual plot here, I think the part that was most moving to me, and it might not be what you think, is the fact that the priest could see when she was breaking the fourth wall. Of course, he couldn't see she was talking to the audience, but he could see that mentally she goes somewhere. Only one other show that I know of has shown this, and Fleabag did it better. I think the fact that he could see it and no one else could meant that he could really see her for who she was, and nobody else in her whole life has ever been able to. It disorients her because she has lived her whole life with a piece of herself invisible to the world, and with such ease, he is able to touch upon that precious space. He saw all of her and loved her anyway. The show doesn't end with a couple happily ever after. It does not give us their happy wedded bliss. He does not leave the church for her. But we know they truly loved each other, and that was enough.